I have smoked so much DMT that my third eye is literally manifesting in my forehead. I don't know if you can see that. You see that? It's coming through right there. That's crazy, right? Actually, you know what it is? My son got a goodie bag from a birthday party, and inside was a little suction cup toy. So me trying to be a funny dad, I stuck it to my forehead and I left it on there for far too long and gave myself a hickey. Yeah. Welcome to Nondual Therapy. Now, first off, how's the sound? How is the sound? I spent the last couple weeks making all these acoustic panels for this room because the echo was absolutely horrendous. But I think it's a bit better. I put a lot of work into it, so it better be better. Definitely not worse. Anyway, as the title suggests, I'm here to tell you about the story of the time I quit my job. I quit my job of 13 years while I was on LSD. Bit of a backstory. This job that I had, it was a shipping receiving kind of job. It was a forklift job. Worked in a warehouse, and I made it to like number 2 in command. And number 1 was there for the taking, but every time I took it on, it was just not worth the money. So I found myself at the end of a dead-end job, and I did not like it. It paid decent for what it was, but it was, to say it wasn't fulfilling doesn't do it justice. I was just like rotting there. So I was there through my entire 20s. I worked at this place, and I started the path working there while I was playing around with psychedelics most of my 20s, but really like honing in on like how to evolve as a human being. That process started happening where I was doing like 5-MeO, and I was doing psilocybin, and I was doing ayahuasca, and I would do like these really big doses every 2 weeks. And as I've shared before, I reached this place on a psilocybin trip where I could see the 40-hour work week as this like machine from Star Wars, and it was just driving away in the desert. And that machine represented the 40-hour work week, and it was just driving away, just like steadily along, and I was just watching it go off in the distance. I had no idea that was my 40-hour work week that was driving away, but sure enough, it was. Now, I was microdosing LSD a lot. I was doing it at work, 10 milligrams. I was experimenting. Started with 5 milligrams, and then I go to 10 milligrams, and I'd do it every day, and it wasn't that good. So then I would do it every other day, and it was still, it was okay. But every third day seems to be the sweet spot where you get the most out of it. So that's kind of the routine, and I played around with it a lot. I like it. 2 days on, 1 day off. 3 days in a row is not good. 2 days on, 1 day off is okay, and then, 1 every third day it's whoa. Now, at my job, we reached this point where we were rearranging the warehouse, and I was helping to organize this big move. We were going to rearrange all of our inventory. It was a pretty big place, like 40,000 square foot place, and it was just a big job. And the weekend that everyone came in, I don't want to. I'm not doing this. I'm not coming in. So that should have been like an obvious sign to me, because I was pretty involved in like every aspect of that place. And then Monday came around, and I remember, back up. So I was experimenting with microdosing, and I was also experimenting with doing more and more, I was experimenting with doing higher doses, whereas like my 20 milligrams became my new norm, and then 25 milligrams became my new norm, and then 30 milligrams became my new norm, and I was able to do 30 milligrams and fully go about my day. One thing that LSD does is it lights a fire under my ass. Like, the productivity goes through the roof, whereas like I don't even care about lunch. I don't care about anything. I just want to get the job done. And like, before you know it, I start my day, and before you know it, it's like 4 o'clock or whatever checking time, whatever time it is to go home. It's like, whoa, like I don't even look at the clock. I'm just like in the flow of getting it done. And it was really incredible for that. But I reached this place where I think it was like about 30 milligrams, if I'm guessing. And I was mid-shift, which I do not recommend, by the way. I'm out driving a forklift on LSD. Do not do that. Do as I don't. But I'm out on the forklift. You know, we have like a bunch of material outside. And I remember it so vividly. I'm out there and I'm looking up at the piece I need to get to bring it down. And it just dawns on me, like, why am I here? Like, and I've asked this so many times, like, why am I here? But I'm always faced with like, well, I need to pay the bills, or I need to support my family, or just whatever story comes along with that. And then it was just like, I don't need to be here. Okay, sure. And then it was just like this door just like flung open inside of me. And then in that moment, I was sitting on the forklift and all I needed to do was walk through. And I did. And then it was like, and then I started thinking like, I could just leave right now. Yeah, okay, let's do that. And then the thought came, I was like, well, I have sick days. So how would I call in sick tomorrow? And then we'll deal with this another time. And then I was just like, no, absolutely not. Today is the day. So I pulled the piece down, I brought it inside, I got off the forklift, I got in my car and I drove home. And I wrote a letter to the boss saying thank you for everything, but this is my termination letter. And I was there 13 years. And I just quit mid-shift. And I didn't even finish the day. I didn't finish my 2 weeks. It was just done. But as I was driving home to write the letter, see, on LSD, it's like everything becomes super synchronistic. Like, it's like that all the time. But I find with LSD more than other psychedelics, maybe because I'm in society a bit more, whereas like a big mushroom dose, I usually do it by myself in my room or whatever. But I'm out interacting with people and everything, it's so synchronistic. So I'm driving home to write this letter. I type it up, print it out, and I'm driving back, and on the radio, there's this announcement that's being ready to be shared. And I can't tell you how much they hyped it up on the radio, but it was like, it was just like, we have a special announcement coming very soon, just right around the corner. This is going to be the biggest announcement of the year. It's just like this like perpetual, just like building up. And it was the announcement of a music festival, but like they weren't actually announcing it. It was building up until like as I was driving into work. It was just like this big buildup on the radio that was reflecting back to me. And then after I'd gone in, shook everyone's hand, thank you for everything, see you later. And then I got in my car and it was like, and then on the radio it was just like this like huge celebration, just this huge explosion of celebration. And it was so nice. It was, it was so incredible. Like, the way I look at it now that I've like, a lot of time has lapsed, I'm going through this energetic process of evolving and becoming myself. So through my 20s, I didn't really care. And I just worked this job. It paid the bills and it was good for what it was, but I never really cared about like improving myself. It was just there and I did it. But then when I started to evolve, my state of consciousness started to change. This job no longer served me. So I remember vividly, like the moment that I realized that I didn't want to be there, I was thinking about this one guy at this place that I worked. And I hated this guy for so long. And then I finally realized that all the things that I hate about myself, I see in this guy. And I recognized that even before noticing that guy, I noticed it in different people. And I was like healing my own self in other people that their things that I saw in them were reflecting back to me. And there's this last guy. And finally it was just like, it's just me. And it's reflecting back to me. And I'm seeing my own insecurities and my own issues, my own shit, it's just reflecting back to me. And as soon as like that place no longer served me, I'd healed that portion of my life and it was done. And there was nothing there for me anymore. So energetically, I was reaching this place where it just ripped apart. And like, even me trying to use my last sick days, it just wasn't going to happen. I was just energetically, it wasn't aligned anymore. And it just ripped apart. Like It just seemed out of nowhere because it was just so abrupt. Going to work starting a Monday, and then by the end of the day I quit with no intention of doing it. That's it. That is my story. The story came up with a client the other day, and what the hell? I could share this on my channel. So that's the story of me quitting my job on LSD. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.